Hi, my name is Lucia Rábago. I'm one of the developers at the VMS Lab, and I'm in charge of the VR pipeline. And for the past, I think 3 years, the laboratory has been developing not only VR, but techniques in which we want to help the education of the UT into introducing virtual reality more in the classes and as a method of research. And to do this, students have to learn, let's say, other type of abilities or skills in order to create these types of projects. Half a year ago, Miriam Galeska, the professor who is taking care of Module 7 in Communications Science bachelor degree, came in and asked if we could actually use her class to actually introduce students to how to develop. So we designed a task for the skills lab where students had to participate while doing their own configuration on Unity in order to create their own project. So we in the lab created 2 worlds, basically a supermarket and a virtual nature or a nature environment. And students could pick each one of them and then select from a series of tasks. They could select to, for example, pick up objects, or for example in the supermarket, or trash in the nature environment. They could select how to modify the environment. That was kind of a little bit of like playing The Sims to a certain extent, where you change the environment. Because if you know Unity, you know that some of the scenes and some of the things can be done really easy. And it was quite nice to see that students went far beyond what we were expecting, because they went and bought their own assets or tried to introduce other tasks that we didn't account for, or bringing, for example, empathicas to measure heart rate while using different or creating their own types of scenes in nature to create wellness. I think for me the most interesting part was not only to see them developing, but actually to have the experience with them to do what I did on my engineering class. My engineering teachers were like, does it work or it doesn't after a certain amount of time? Because that's what we are subjected as for development. And to have the chance to play that role, come into a room and ask them, does it work or not? And then most of the time, well, things are not 100% like you expected. That's something that it's quite common on building or in engineering. And so to just say, well, it doesn't work how you're saying that it works, and coming to realize that you have to change your design or that your requirements or the time, and having to see that process on the students was actually, I think, for me, the most enriching one, because that was the objective. The objective was to put the students to create some empathy and to create some ways of communication with multidisciplinary teams. And for them to understand that project management was actually one of the bases for how to execute innovation. And yeah, basically that was the construction of the class or the reason for the class.